Pakistan's internet services have faced significant disruptions leading to widespread frustration among users. Minister of State for IT Shaza Fatma Khwaja acknowledged the challenges, citing slow speeds and connectivity issues. She explained that the government was working on improving the tech sector with plans to increase internet speeds and lay more undersea cables.
अंडरसी केबल्स आती हैं पाकिस्तान में 7 इस वक्त आती हैं 4 हम जो है वो इंशाल्लाह कोशिश है कि अगले 2 सालों में 4 मजीद इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी के लिए अंडरसी केबल्स पाकिस्तान में लैंड करें जिससे मजीद इंटरनेट बेहतर हो। जब तक टेलीकॉम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं होगी तब तक मुल्क का इंटरनेट बेहतर नहीं होगा। तो हमारी कलेक्टिव फोकस भी है, कलेक्टिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी है कि हम इस पे काम कर रहे हैं कि हमने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कैसे बेहतर करनी है, टेलीकॉम के अंदर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कैसे बेहतर करना है, कनेक्टिविटी कैसे, नेशनल फाइबराइजेशन पॉलिसी है वो पब्लिक हुई हुई है, उसके ऊपर अपने कमेंट्स भी दें। कोशिश ये है कि 2% से बढ़ाई जाए फाइबर की, जैसे जैसे पेनिट्रेशन बढ़ेगी वैसे वैसे इंटरनेट बेहतर होगा।
However, PPP lawmakers criticized the government's handling of the situation with accusations of misuse of firewalls and a ban on social media platforms like X. Despite the minister's claims of progress, the ongoing internet wars have affected businesses, students, and daily users alike.
कि आया इतना सत्यानाश इंटरनेट का क्यों मार दिया गया है इस मुल्क में? आप X उठा लें, आप Y उठा लें, आप Z उठा लें, यहाँ वॉइस नोट नहीं खुलते, तस्वीरें नहीं खुलती। ये कौन सी फायरवॉल आप लगा रहे हैं जो लगते नहीं लग रही अब तक आपके पास? खुदा के वास्ते जिन लोगों के कारोबार इससे मुंसलिक हैं उनको अरबों का नुकसान हो रहा है, स्टूडेंट्स की पढ़ाई मुतासिर हो रही है, लोगों के मैसेजेस किसी हद तक आपको जो करना है करें लेकिन कर चुके हैं।
आप डिजिटल नेशन पाकिस्तान का बिल ले आते हैं, मुझे तो हंसी आ रही थी उस दिन वो बिल जब आया कि कौन से इंटरनेट पे और कौन से डिजिटल पाकिस्तान पे हम बात करें जहाँ पे इंटरनेट फैसिलिटी है ही नहीं।
In the National Assembly, tensions between the ruling PMLN and opposition PTI parties seem to ease slightly. Both sides expressed the need for dialogue to resolve their issues. PTI's Chair Afzal Marwat proposed the formation of a parliamentary committee to set the terms of reference for talks. Defence Minister Khwaja Asif welcomed this but emphasized that talks could not happen under duress. Despite the call for dialogue, both parties remained firm, with PTI insisting that the government first create a conducive environment for negotiations while government leaders stressed the need for a formal, official approach. National Assembly Speaker Sardar Ayaz Sadiq extended an olive branch to both the government and opposition, offering his office as a neutral ground for talks. He emphasized his commitment to maintaining neutrality and facilitating discussions, pointing out that the political deadlock could not be resolved without dialogue. His remarks came as political tensions continued to rise, with the PTI unwilling to take the first step but still open to negotiations if the right conditions were set.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि स्पीकर का दफ्तर, स्पीकर का घर 24 घंटे खुला है। अगर अपोजिशन और गवर्नमेंट तशरीफ़ लाना चाहें और मुज़ाकरात की बात करना चाहें, मिल बैठ के तलख़ी ख़त्म करने की बात करना चाहें, मुल्क के मफाद की जो चीज़ें हैं उनको सामने रख के उनके ऊपर डिस्कशन किया जाए, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की सिचुएशन है उसके ऊपर नज़र डाली जाए।
A 29-year-old man from Uzbekistan has been detained by Russia's security service in connection with the killing of senior Russian general Igor Kirillov. Kirillov, the head of Russia's Radiation, Chemical and Biological Protection Forces, was killed on Tuesday outside his Moscow apartment by an explosive device hidden in a scooter. The Russian Federal Security Service claims the suspect was recruited by Ukrainian intelligence, with the Ukrainian SVU confirming their involvement in the attack. Ukraine had previously charged Kirillov in absentia, accusing him of war crimes including the use of banned chemical weapons. The suspect allegedly received $100,000 and EU relocation promises in exchange for carrying out the attack. Following his detention, the FSB released a video showing the suspect admitting to placing the bomb and monitoring Kirillov's movements before remotely detonating the device. Kirillov's death is the highest-profile assassination of a Russian military figure since the invasion of Ukraine. Russia has vowed to bring those responsible to justice, raising the incident at the UN Security Council. In Gaza overnight, Israeli strikes have claimed at least 20 lives, escalating the ongoing violence. The strikes come amid continued Israeli military operations targeting various locations across Gaza. The death toll is expected to rise as the full extent of the destruction becomes clearer. The strikes are part of Israel's larger military campaign in the region, which has caused significant casualties and further intensified the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Meanwhile, tensions have spilled over into southern Lebanon, where the Israeli military is demolishing residential buildings. Explosions have been heard in towns such as Tyre, Haifa, and Nakora. Israel's military actions in these border villages are part of an ongoing effort to secure its northern border as the conflict with Hezbollah continues to unfold. Lebanese authorities have reported widespread damage, and the international community has expressed growing concern about the escalating violence across the region. In Gaza's Bureij refugee camp, the Israeli military has issued forced evacuation orders for several neighborhoods, citing rocket fire from the area as the reason for the operation. Civilians have been urged to move the designated humanitarian zones, though these are far from safe. With no real safe zones available, residents face extreme challenges, and the evacuation orders exacerbate an already dire situation for Gaza's vulnerable population. In another distressing development, the World Health Organization has condemned Israel's blockade preventing a medical team from reaching the besieged Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza. The hospital is critically understaffed, and attacks on medical facilities have worsened the situation. WHO has managed to send supplies to Gaza City's Al Shifa hospital, but urgent care is still severely lacking for those in need.